Hello, coolers. Welcome back to Viva Barca and welcome to the home of everything Barcelona, where we are going to be discussing on the latest as usual. We start with Antoine Griezmann, as it has been reported that Juventus are considering a summer transfer for the Barcelona loanee. We are going to be discussing on that as we progress. Then secondly, talking about Ronald Araujo, as it has been reported that Araujo refuses to undergo surgery following his thigh injury carried during international break. Then lastly, talking about Ousmane Dembele, as the manager of the France national team, Didier Deschamps, has offered a worrying injury update on Ousmane Dembele. We are also going to be discussing on that. So guys, as we get right into it, please do ensure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Turn on the post bell notification to always stay notified whenever I post a new video. Consider liking the video and please watch it right up to the very end. Barcelona have had quite the altercations with Atletico Madrid this season over the loan deal of Antoine Griezmann, with Los Cochineros refusing to play the Frenchman in over 45 minutes in most games. There are fears the attacker may have to return to Camp Nou, without Atleti having to meet the obligatory €40 million buyout clause. However, it appears Griezmann will not find any shortage of suitors next summer, with Juventus among the clubs keeping close tabs on his situation. This has been reported by Marca, who suggests the Italian giants have identified a series of targets in the transfer market. They are tracking the development of these players, most of whom offer a lot of experience on the table and can help young players grow. Griezmann fits the bill perfectly, with the Frenchman having featured in a combined total of over 600 matches during his time at Atleti, Real Sociedad and Barca. He has also won 108 caps for the French national team, notably leading them to World Cup triumph in 2018. Griezmann's vast experience, coupled with his winning mentality, could go a long way in helping Juventus restore its lost glory. As for Barcelona, the Frenchman's departure could serve as a major sigh of relief, as the attacker's wage packet, would have once again ruined the club's financial structure ahead of the start of next season. However, Griezmann's future remains unclear at the moment. Even though Atletico Madrid have refused to utilize him more often this season, the recent knock of João Felix may compel Diego Simeone to utilize the Frenchman more often. There have also been talks of Barcelona potentially agreeing fresh terms for the loan contract of Griezmann, which could see the Catalans lower their asking price for the player. Hence, it will be interesting to see how things transpire over the coming months. A lot have been spoken about Antoine Griezmann, in recent reports, especially in light of his game time at Atleti. It has made a lot of news, as Atletico Madrid have opted not to be playing Griezmann regularly for 45 minutes just because they want to prevent paying the €40 million that Barca are expecting from them. So there have always been that war of words between the two giants in Spain. Of course, Barca already think that Atletico have reached their obligations already. They have reached those conditions for them to pay, but Atleti are saying that those conditions pertain but for 2 seasons, not just for 1 season. So there have been that problem, and it has been reported that Griezmann is linked to Juventus in Serie A. So let's see if that link from Juventus will put an end to this matter. But one thing is for sure is Barca won their 40 million. But so far, nothing has been said about that issue between the two clubs. It seems as though they don't want to take it that far. So let's see what happens to Antoine Griezmann. As I said earlier, Barca will be so relieved if they can finally sell Antoine Griezmann, knowing fully well that they still pay some of his salary, and if he can go to Juventus on a permanent transfer, Barca will be so relieved of entirely, removing his name from their wage bill. Then on to the next story of discussion. Barcelona have not fared well on the first day of the international break, with Jules Koundé, Ronald Araujo, Memphis Depay, Frankie de Jong, and most recently Ousmane Dembele picking up injuries. The most concerning of this definitely is Araujo, who seems to have developed a recurring injury trend in the last 2 seasons. The most recent one, though, he picked up within a minute of playing with Uruguay, as is probably the most troubling one. He has been ruled out for nearly 2 months, if he reports are to be believed. Further, it is recent update provided by Javi Miguel. He says that Araujo is not ready to undergo surgery. Going under the knife would seriously put his contention for the World Cup in doubt, and therefore he will go through conservative treatment. Barcelona fans are also familiar with his stale, with his tail. Unfortunately, in 2018, Samuel Umtiti picked up a knee injury just before the World Cup. The Frenchman was the club's best defender that season and did not want to risk his place with the France getting an operation. What happened after was incredibly sorrow as Umtiti kept picking up recurring injuries on his knee. He lost his place not only in the battered starting 11 but on the bench as well, eventually being forced to leave the club this summer on loan. As for now, Araujo is set to miss some very important games in October as Barcelona make the trip to Milan and Real Madrid. They will also host Villarreal, Athletic Club Bilbao and Bayern Munich during the month. The slightly better news is that Jules Koundé's injury is not deemed as serious. The ex-Sevilla man is expected to make it back in time for the game against Real Madrid. It was a big blow for us when Ronald Araujo went down with an injury while playing in the Uruguay in the international break. There's no doubt about that. He will be a big blow. He will be a big miss for us in our game so far. Araujo have played most of the games this season and has been the leader of the pack, so it's going to be a very big miss for us. And luckily enough, Jules Koundé will not be too long like Araujo. I think they say Koundé might feature against Real Madrid in their first Clasico of the season. So let's hope that we can still fare better without these players if Xavi can rotate his team well. Luckily enough, we have that good squad. We have that depth in the team that we can go for and rely on them as well. Then moving on to the final story of discussion, the international break continues to go from bad to worse for Barcelona. Over the past couple of days, Barcelona have seen as many as 4 players picked up injuries and returned to the club for recuperation. Injuries to Jules Koundé and Ronald Araujo come as the biggest blow for Barca. As the former is said to be sidelined for close to a month, while the latter situation is much more concerning and might even get more worried. On top of that, Dutch duo Frankie de Jong and Memphis Depay were also injured in the Netherlands clash against Poland. The midfielder is expected to be out with just 1 week, but the forward could be ruled out for a month as well. Now, there is more worry for Barcelona as Ousmane Dembele could also be added to the list of players not out injured. The informed forward returned to French national team camp after over a year and made a substitute appearance against Austria on Thursday. However, Dembele had suffered from a calf discomfort after he came on with close to 10 minutes left during the game. It was reported that the issues was nothing serious and the Frenchman would be staying with the national team. But France manager Didier Deschamps has now offered a concerning update on the 25-year-old, stating that he is here to recover from the issue ahead of France UEFA Nations League match against Denmark. The French manager also confirmed that the Barcelona forward will train away from the rest of the group today, which is not the best news for Barca. Didier Deschamps said he has calf discomfort. He will train separately. We'll see how he feels today. With so many crucial matches coming up over the next weeks for Barca, this developing story or situation is far from ideal, given that Dembele was one of the team's informed stars. Xavi and co will be hoping that Ousmane Dembele's injury is nothing major and he will soon recover, fully from it. So guys, with that we have come to an end of this episode. Thanks a lot for watching. Until next time, bye bye.